Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. We don't have Noah with us this week, so I have my good friend Brooks with us today, filling in kind of his spot. So Brooks, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself?
What's going on? Name's Brooks. I'm the new guy. I'm the rookie. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'll also let Nate talk, just so everybody knows Nate's here. Nate, say what's up.
What's up? I'm Nate. You know who I am.
But today we are doing Deadpool and Wolverine. This is our episode for this week. If we said we were doing Twister, we lied about that. Twister sucks, so we're not doing that. We're doing a good
Thank
movie.
God. Care about our listeners.
I don't want to talk about Glenn Powell for 2 hours.
Let's talk about his jawline for 25 minutes.
My wife sends me 100 TikToks about Glenn Powell, and it's making me pissed off.
Fuck that guy.
Are you ready?
It is sad too because I really enjoy the soundtrack to the new Twisters movie. I'm a huge country music fan, and a lot of those songs are really good. But I can't.
And now they're hitting TikTok, dude. They're hitting TikTok, and now they're done.
They're making the rounds on TikTok.
Oh, sucks.
But anyways, we're doing a good movie this week. So we're talking about the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie that came out. What was it? Last month? 2 months ago?
Yeah, about just under a month. It came out on July 26th, I believe.
Yeah.
So just under a month.
Wow, I've seen this movie 6 times or 4. How many fucking times have I seen this movie? 4 times, and I've seen it one time a week for the last month.
Good grief. He's filled in.
I don't blame you. It's a good movie. I really enjoy it.
And yes, before you ask, I did legally pay for it every single time.
I don't think anybody was gonna.
That was all on our mind. But yeah, Ryne is quite the criminal.
Oh, you should. Before we get into it, you should tell your Borderlands story.
Oh, I was about to. So I was yesterday. Check the review out on the channel if you haven't seen it. It will be a few days old by the time this video comes up. But I went and saw Borderlands yesterday. Yeah, the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
Ryne, before you go, you kind of cut out right after you said a couple days. So I don't know if there's anything important was said in there.
No, I was just saying that video will be a few days old by the time the podcast comes out. So I went and saw Borderlands, worst fucking movie I've ever seen. I thought about buying a ticket to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and then just going to see Borderlands. But nobody wanted to see Borderlands, so the ticket was like literally $8. And I'm like, I'm not paying $7 more so I can say I'm seeing Deadpool Wolverine. I'm gonna pay $8 for this shitty movie and have the worst experience of my life. I walked out 40 minutes in.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, sorry.
No, go ahead.
All I was gonna say was if you haven't watched his Borderlands review yet, you should do it because that review completely solidified the fact that I will not be watching Borderlands.
I think Ryne didn't like the movie. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Go out on a limb and say I hated the movie.
Yeah.
What was it? Me screaming at the camera for 5 minutes? Is that what?
Well, it was funny to hear. Honestly, pretty solid. I'm sure you got the gist of the whole movie, and only saw like 45 minutes of
40 minutes of
it. I mean, so but Ryne and I, like, not to get off topic about go on a tangent, but Ryne and I were talking about that script getting ChatGPT'd. I don't doubt it one bit. I'm sure that these companies are playing with that idea for sure.
I'm not going to lie. After I watched his review, I went on to ChatGPT yesterday, and I asked them to write me a script for Borderlands. I'm almost certain it's probably exactly what it is.
They're right behind me, are they?
No, last point I'll make about this movie before we start talking about Deadpool. This movie
a good movie.
This movie had a budget of $130 million fucking dollars. Did they like pay
Also-
Kevin Hart $100 million? Where did it go?
Also, not only did fucking Kate Blanchett fucking star in this movie, Kevin Hart was also in this movie. Jack Black was in this movie.
Dude,
with a budget of $130 million. Where the fuck is the money going?
This had to be money laundering. Like, there's no way it wasn't.
Yeah, oh my lord.
That's a pretty premium ChatGPT subscription that they were paying, apparently.
Yeah, they had to pay for the premium version.
I just want to see, before we get into a good movie, I just want to see who else is in this fucking...
Bobby Lee's in it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bobby Lee. Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh, by the way, they had Kate Blanchett, so I will be the first one to say that I'm not a huge fan of the Borderlands games. Mm-hmm. But so Kate Blanchett is playing the character Lilith, who is supposed to be a fucking young character.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like maybe like 25.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Kate Blanchett's almost 60.
This movie, I didn't mention it in the review. This movie has Jamie Lee Curtis cleavage in it.
Right.
Like, that is an actual scene that happens in this movie. You see 80-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis boobs.
Oh my god. You know, I got a trailer for I'm gonna segue back into the actual good movie. I got a trailer for Borderlands in the theater when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. And I knew from the fucking trailer that didn't show any actual movie footage, by the way. It was just fucking Jack Black as a robot talking to the audience. I knew from that the movie was gonna suck.
And you know what the funniest part is?
Movie, yeah.
You know what the funniest part is? Jack Black was the best part of that movie by far. And you knew it was gonna suck when you saw it.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Deadpool Wolverine. Enough of a Borderlands tangent about it here. Alright, Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, stay tuned for our monthly recap for us to shit on Borderlands again for 20 minutes.
Oh god. Nate, what were your thoughts on Deadpool Wolverine?
I mean, my expectations were pretty low going into it, if I'm being 100% honest, just with MCU fatigue. Like, the last project that came out before, I gotta look up an MCU timeline here just because I'm not entirely sure. I believe it was the Marvels. I believe it was the Marvels was the last feature release that came out.
Yes,
which
that sounds right.
I didn't see it. God damn it! I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Brooks, if you want to kind of take over, and
it was the Marvels. It was the Marvels.
No, I mean, I mean, I thought it was. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, the last release I saw in theaters was Doctor Strange 2.
I'm sorry.
In between that, there was Miss Marvel, which I've heard was promising. Like,
it was fine.
I didn't care for it personally. I did watch it. It wasn't for me, which I can understand. I can recognize that. Thor: Love and Thunder, which I feel like gets a lot of hate. I think from a character perspective, I think Thor was done really well in that movie. But again, not really well received. And then I'm Groot on Disney Plus, which is just a bunch of short stuff. She-Hulk, which was terrible. Werewolf by Night, which I actually did enjoy. I think it's probably one of the more underrated projects.
I didn't watch it at all.
It's good. I would recommend it. Then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I thought was really good. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special, which is a fun little Christmas adventure. Then we get to this. we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which stay tuned next week for our Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania breakdown. But then you had Guardians 3, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then you get Secret. Then we get Secret Invasion. Which I've actually just started watching because I haven't seen it. And so as I mentioned before, so I watch everything in MCU before I make my wife watch it, just because if it's not important and or if it isn't good, I'm not going to make her sit through it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm currently watching it. I'm on episode 3, and boy, is it a fucking slog to get through.
Yeah. I watched episode 1, and I think I got halfway through 2.
So I didn't think episode 1 of that was too bad, to be completely honest, but it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, then we had Loki season 2, which Loki, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, I think is the best thing post Endgame.
Hey, Guardians is better.
I really like Guardians. I really do like Guardians. I like Loki better.
Okay. All right.
I can get behind that.
Then we have the Marvels. Yeah, then we have the Marvels, which I didn't see. I don't plan on it. Then we had What If, which was terrible. Then we have Echo, which I haven't seen and don't plan on because I've heard it's also terrible.
Yeah.
What If wasn't terrible. It just they picked like the worst ideas they could have thought of instead of cool things.
Yeah, so so pretty much since Endgame, there's been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26 projects, or 25, or sorry, 24 if you're counting What If Season 2 and Loki Season 2 as one project combined with Loki Season 1 and What If Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So 24 projects since Endgame. There was
that's in 3.5 years.
Yeah, there was 24 movies in the MCU before that.
Mm-hmm.
So they completely doubled their MCU catalog. And that's not even including like X-Men 97, which was great, but again, still stuff that's taking resources away from.
Yeah.
So they've completely doubled their catalog. So going into this movie, my expectations were very low. Like they were higher than like for we'll say Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. We'll say they're higher for that just because Deadpool and Wolverine are two such iconic characters that my expectations for this were higher than they were for most other projects that released, but they were still relatively low considering like when we'll go back to Infinity War in 2018, like expectations for that were the highest of the high. Like that is far and away my favorite MCU project is Avengers Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel it while it is a little unfair to try to compare the two, like it was like night and day difference for expectations. Like the absolute fall off in the MCU post Endgame for me at least was like excuse me. My expectations for this were low. I didn't have very high hopes for this film. I was going into it very scared that it was going to suck, but it didn't. Like it was actually it was super fun. There was a lot of really good stuff done. Like the soundtrack for this, like, and Ryan, I believe you said this in your spoiler-free review, but I kind of do agree. Like MCU movies either have really good soundtracks, like Deadpool and Wolverine, or any of the Guardians movies, for that example.
Yeah.
Or they have really shitty soundtracks. There is no in between.
Yeah.
So, so you brought up Iron Man 2, which has a really great soundtrack, but is kind of a mid movie. Or was it Iron Man 3?
It's Iron Man 2. Don't ever talk shit about Iron Man 3 again.
Well, I couldn't remember which one you brought. I couldn't remember which one you brought. I couldn't remember if you brought up Iron Man 2 or 3
I was
just asking.
It's because
because I also think Iron Man 3 is I also think Iron Man 3 is underrated. I don't think it's perfect. Like it's not worse than Iron Man 2, but it's not better than Iron Man 1.
Like, Iron Man 2 literally has Shoot to Thrill, Back in Black, and Thunderstruck in it.
Yeah, Iron Man 2's got a fantastic soundtrack. And Deadpool and Wolverine, like there's so many good tracks. I have to look up the soundtrack just to see what else in it. It starts off with Bye Bye Bye, which if you're not an NSYNC fan, I'm not, but like
I'm a fan of that song.
For the scene, like it was good.
Yeah.
There was Glamorous by Fergie, which was hilarious.
I hate
They had
Fergie,
Madonna in it too, Like a Prayer.
Yep. Yeah, Like a Prayer, which like I think Fergie is stupid. I hate Fergie, but like you also got to think like I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that singer. But you got to think like for the scene, like it was when he was getting his new suit. Like it enhanced the scene.
Yeah.
And then of course my favorite scene in the movie had Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. Let's see what else was in here. The credits had Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. I'm With You by Avril Lavigne. You're the One That I Want from Grease. Like this soundtrack is stacked.
I forgot that song is in there.
The soundtrack is stacked. It's a fantastic soundtrack, and it's a pretty simple story, but that's all it needed to be. Like, it didn't need to be this universe-breaking, multiverse crashing story. It just needed to be simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's if you look at Disney's resume of everything they've ever taken over, it's pretty much gone to crap. I mean, that's kind of like a dull view of it. I think that there are like good parts about all of it, but it's the way I think Disney plays the game is very like safe. I think they play it safe and they are able to make huge profit margins that way, or at least have been. And like the whole way like Deadpool was made in the first place when it comes to like movie wise is like 100% built off complete risks, and it paid off, and it's awesome, you know. But to me, that was like a really risky project to pick up, and it kind of that was what made me nervous was like that's what made those movies like everyone went to them and they were super fun and super cool was because it was like holy cow, like how can they make these jokes not even getting canceled? Like this is so fun. This is so cool. Like everyone like enjoyed it. And then you got like Disney's now made and you so there I mean, there's so many red flags that picks up and they don't usually allow like a ton of creative freedom. They always hire like weird directors sometimes for odd projects that other people would make more sense. And I think they did super cool. And I watched like an interview with Ryan Reynolds and he was talking about like their creative freedom with it, and they basically negotiated it to the point where Disney just kind of let them do their thing, and then they kind of see what they get at the end, and then go from there. And I think that they like allowed like the perfect amount. Like I think it was odd they couldn't they like not say the word like cocaine or something?
Yeah,
but
so
they kept
they
making
had
a
like
joke about it.
No, so the thing was with that. So when Sean Levy approached Kevin Feige about the movie, because I love this movie so much. I watched 100 videos about like the making of the movie.
Yeah.
So Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds like approached Kevin Feige and the executive producers at Disney, and they were like, "Hey, is there anything that you kind of don't want in the movie?" And Kevin Feige was like, "Oh yeah, everything. Like, do what you need to do. Just try not to like go excessive with like the cocaine and the drug use." And then like as soon as that happened, like Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy started writing that whole like cocaine joke scene.
Yeah.
So like
yeah, it was just dude, it was so like it was good, and I think Disney needed a project like that that inspires hope again, I think, in their MCU stuff because I think it after Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians 3, like the end of Guardians 3, they kind of like I know that like they'll be back, but because I think they just announced 4. But you know, like it was kind of like the end of that stretch. So I don't know. I think people are just a little bit discouraged with a lot of their projects, especially me. Like I'm a Star Wars fan. The Star Wars stuff is just like god awful. Like I've been very discouraged with Disney. So like for me, Deadpool was something where I'm like, hopefully like this is like something, I hope it bleeds into like other things and more, more stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this and then The Acolyte are the two best things Disney's ever made.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
like The Acolyte? What?
No,
Dude, wait,
no,
hold on. This
no.
is not a Star Wars conversation, but hold the phone. Wait, what?
No, I just
God.
knew that would upset you. I knew saying that would upset you, so I wanted to see the
Oh yeah,
reaction.
dude. We'll turn this into a Star Wars podcast real quick if you
I mean, if
No,
we ever do
but
any Star Wars, we'll definitely have you on because
dude, 100%.
I think we share
No,
some
but
very similar sentiments.
something that we talked about earlier, but I'll bring it up again, is like with like the way that the story was handled and stuff like that, like what to you guys like inspires hope in you guys, and what do you look forward to like coming out of this project? Because it's gonna like inspire more. Like, do you think they're just gonna ride with Deadpool and that's gonna be it, or like what do you guys like expect from it?
I
Like, what do you
mean,
mean? Like, sorry.
I
Like,
think I
like
understand. So let me answer, and if I'm answering wrong, you can cut me off, and maybe this will help like
yeah,
cue Ryan in a little bit.
Mhm.
I definitely think this is going to be a one and done. Like I'm excited. I'm excited for other projects now. Like the
Mhm.
next one that's coming out is Captain America, which I'm excited to see, and I probably will see it in theaters.
mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for Blade, if it ever comes out. Jesus,
Yeah.
please, my Lord and Savior, I pray, please just let them release Kendrick, release Blade, and my life is yours.
Will we get
Marvel
Blade
released
before
Blade.
GTA 6?
Feige, release Blade, and my life is yours.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
but, but yeah,
Um,
let me take a look at what their upcoming releases are for next year. Fantastic Four is coming out, which I am excited for.
I'm not.
I like Pedro Pascal.
I do too, but
yeah.
the more and more I've seen from the cat, like the screenshots, like one, I love Joseph Quinn. I thought he was awesome in Stranger Things. He just doesn't fucking look like Johnny Storm. He looks like a fucking nerd. He
Yes,
looks like a dork.
that's fair. I'm excited for Fantastic Four just because the last the fan four stick incident that came out. What was it? God, 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Yeah, like as long as it's not worse than that, which would be very hard to do, it'll be fine. And then we've got Agatha All Along coming out next month, which is all right, I guess.
I could not care less about that.
Yeah, I'll probably still watch it, but I don't really care about it. I'll probably just wait till it all comes out and watch it all in one day. Eyes of Wakanda is coming out, which could be okay. It's another animated show. Captain America we kind of talked about already. Daredevil, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, which I'm excited to see. God, what's the fucking actor's name?
David Arbor, the goat.
Yes, I'm excited to see him again, just because I thought his character was one of the only good parts about Black Widow.
He was the only good part
And
about Black Widow.
I liked Florence Pugh's character. I think Florence Pugh was really funny.
Hey, you know my feelings about Florence Pugh from the fucking Fury episode.
Yes, I know your feelings on Florence Pugh.
Free my man.
Fantastic Four, which we already talked about. Blade, which I've already talked about, which comes out on my birthday actually, so that's pretty cool.
No, it doesn't. It won't come out.
If it comes out.
Yeah. That thing's getting
And
postponed.
then Ironheart, which I couldn't give less of a shit about.
Yeah.
And then we've got Avengers Doomsday, which is kind of like you're looking at it like that's kind of like the next big thing is Avengers Doomsday. Like Deadpool and Wolverine was big.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, like yeah, like Fantastic Four is probably gonna be big just because it's gonna introduce a whole new team of heroes. Thunderbolts is probably gonna
Yeah.
suck, but Yeah, we got Avengers Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, which I've expressed my feelings about that.
Do you think there's a chance we get fuck, what am I trying to say? Deadpool in the Thunderbolts? I don't think so, because I feel like the route they're going is he'll be part of the Avengers. But I mean, Deadpool is a member of the Thunderbolts in the comics.
I don't think that would be the smart thing to do, because I think Deadpool's whole character in the comics is that how he doesn't really belong in any of the teams, because he's been on the X-Men, he's been on the Avengers, he's been in the Thunderbolts, he started the X-Force in the movie, at least. I'm not entirely well versed on that in the comics. I think that's kind of his whole character, is how he just doesn't belong on a team. Like he works better as a solo hero.
Well, and I think what Ryan Reynolds does well with the character and stuff is I think that character just kind of has to be not like the center of attention, but he doesn't really work as just like, like you've got to be kind of focused on him because his humor, like all that stuff. And I think
yes, yeah, I agree. Kind of like in Infinity War, where like Doctor Strange and Iron Man were like the main of that group, and then you had the Guardians and Spider-Man who were kind of like in the background.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool wouldn't really fit well, because like he'd be breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
because you'd have to, if you're gonna have Deadpool in any movie, even if it isn't his own, he has to break the fourth wall. Like that's an absolute must for the character.
And
yeah.
I think that's why he'd probably work better in the Thunderbolts than the Avengers, because the Avengers have, I mean, not right now, but they'll probably have Spider-Man again at some point. They have Thor. They have Hawkeye. They have like these witty characters. If you look at the Thunderbolts, they have Baron Zemo, Red Guardian, Winter Soldier, which is like straight man, straight man, straight man, straight man, straight man. And I feel like that would not like that.
That's a lot of straight dudes in one group.
Well, who else is supposed to be in Thunderbolts? You keep talking. I'll look that up while you're.
I think like Ghost and Echo maybe.
Oh yeah, Ghost, Echo, Florence Pugh.
So I mean, like comedically, it's a lot of like straight men. You know what I mean? Like where they can kind of play. They can play more.
There's not a lot of humor there.
Yeah. Like they'll play more like how Jim is in The Office. Like he plays the straight man to like Michael Scott and Dwight.
Yeah.
Like more of like the Thunderbolts have so many like grounded characters, which is at least how they should be written. And then you have Deadpool, and I feel like that would work better than Deadpool being in the Avengers.
Yeah, I agree, because the Avengers always have been kind of like the comedy team of the comics. The X-Men have like the comedic value, I guess. Like, God, I haven't read an X-Men comic in years, so
I haven't either.
God. Like Wolverine's always kind of been a little bit more humorous in the comics. Cyclops is always pretty Cyclops is kind of like the Jim from The Office type. So I guess he could work in like the MCU's X-Men, because I know he is associated with them.
I guess that would work, but I don't really see like.
I like your take of having him on the Thunderbolts more than having him be anywhere else.
Yeah. Actually, let's put him on the Fantastic Four. because we all know comics, even though they're called the Fantastic Four, they often have like 6 members.
Yeah, I would say I would like to see a Deadpool and She-Hulk team up, even though the Deadpool or the She-Hulk show was terrible.
That would actually be really funny.
Just the comedic styles of both of those characters would be really well done. If it's well done.
Yeah. I obviously want to see Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Yeah, of course. Which I will say, if Sony gets off their ass and lets Disney do whatever they need to do with Spider-Man, that he could be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. All right, let's actually talk about the movie at hand, because we've been off track here for about like 30 minutes.
No, I think it was all important. We're kind of like getting into like the characters and all that.
Yeah. It was important information. But like, we still haven't talked about the movie. But I guess since we're doing this out of order, sorry guys. I'm not like Nate and Noah. I didn't prepare a detailed script and flowchart for this episode. I just said fuck it, let's talk about a movie. But the soundtrack of this movie is phenomenal. I know we already said that. I'm kind of saying it again.
I don't blame you because the soundtrack is phenomenal.
But Nate knows where I'm going with this. I'm doing it just so I can shit on a very specific song in the Guardians soundtrack. Cherry Bomb fucking sucks. It's a horrible
Oh
song.
my gosh, he said it. No, it doesn't.
Wait, Brooks, you hold on, Brooks. You've heard this take too?
What that Ryne doesn't like Cherry Bomb?
Yeah, and you disagree with his take?
Yeah.
Dude, that song sucks.
Dude, in the concept of songs, like if that came on the radio, I probably wouldn't jam out to it. Frankly, I probably wouldn't. Not that the song sucks, just not my cup of tea. Maybe someone likes it. But in the, like a Guardians of the Galaxy, dude, like yeah, dude, like that's fun, dude. Like I don't know, that fits like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's sick.
I won't say it doesn't fit the movie. I just think it's a horrible song.
No, it fits in the context of the movie. In the context of the movie, it fits, but it sucks. The song is horrible. I would play it if I wasn't scared about getting copyrighted.
Yeah, fuck you, Universal Music.
Hello, Mom. Are you?
Hello, Daddy.
Cherry.
God, that song is so bad.
Cherry Bomb.
Don't be a hater.
Oh, I will say I didn't mention this when I talked about the soundtrack. Hell's Bells playing during that first fucking fight with Deadpool and Wolverine was fucking fantastic.
Yes. Hell
that was
that was so clean. Dude, and then I loved how like Wolverine, bro, in the whole thing, like the way he fought, everything was just comics. Like he
was very animalistic.
Come out when he crawl, dude, and then like Deadpool's reload scene. Oh my gosh, bro.
Oh. I will say though, when that song started playing, I did think it was For Whom the Bell Tolls at first.
No,
which I do think is fair because they do start very similar.
Yeah, no, they do.
You're better than my my coworker though, who leaned over to me and said, "Isn't this Led Zeppelin?"
Oh gosh!
Oh, no.
Movie ruined.
Yeah, I actually got it out. Walked out.
That is bad. That's bad. Oh, you mean like how you walked out of Borderlands?
Yeah, dude.
You can't say that, or else it's just gonna go into Borderlands.
All right, we're not gonna talk. We've already talked about Borderlands. We're not gonna talk about it anymore.
You know what made this movie better? So they have that really cool
Jack Black as a robot.
Yep. Kevin Hart.
Kate Blanchett as a 60-year-old playing a 15-year-old.
Kate Blanchett should have played what's the girl's name from Kumiko or whatever? The little Asian girl.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett should have played her.
That would have been hilarious.
Okay, but no, what would have made this movie just a little bit better is that awesome scene where Ant-Man's kind of laying there like he's doing missionary and he has like his hands out and he's like he's the base.
He's the base,
right?
Yeah.
It would have been 10 times better if Michael Pena was laying next to him.
Yeah, on top of a grenade.
Yeah. And there's our mandated Michael Pena joke of the podcast. So
Brooks, if you're not familiar, our first episode was on Fury featuring Michael Pena as the most useless character ever.
Yeah.
So now he's a bit of a running joke.
Yeah, he's a bit of a running gag on the pod because none of us can tell you a single thing that character did other than the fact that he wore a top hat in one scene and he died by jumping on a grenade. That's it.
Nate,
that's the only thing the three of us, me, Ryne, and Noah remember about that movie.
Nate also cannot pronounce his name, which makes it even funnier.
Oh yeah, it's Michael Pena.
Michael Pena.
Michael Peanut.
Michael Peanuts.
All right. Anyway, guys.
Nate, I know you had some minor issues with like the villain in this movie. If you wanted to talk about that,
I mean, I wouldn't even really call it issues. I just would say. So I would I know Cassandra Nova's kind of like hyped up to be like the main villain, but I would say as a viewer, it's more so Mr. Paradox.
yeah,
And I would say like after the first act of the film, right before they get or right after they get sent to the void, I don't think he needs to be in the movie at all, and he really isn't. Like you could completely take Cassandra Nova out of the movie, and you could take Paradox out of the movie from that point, and I don't think much of the story would change after that.
no, not
Yeah.
really. I mean, you could literally just replace like uh Cassandra Nova with like Juggernaut, and it's basically the same movie.
The only thing you would have to do is just change how they get out of the void, which probably isn't that hard to do.
No,
Yeah.
I think this is something I didn't even realize I had a problem with till right now. A lot of the 21st century or 20th century, sorry, Fox bad guy mutants, they get bitched in this movie.
Yep.
They get treated like they're fucking pussies. Like
Juggernaut got bitched.
Juggernaut got
Yeah.
bitched. Sabretooth got bitched, but it's by Wolverine, so it's okay.
Sabretooth, that was bad. Yeah, that was cool. That was quick.
That makes sense though because it was Wolverine.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, I would have been heated. But that also leads to the second best joke in this entire movie, so I'm okay with that. And he's holding up his head, and he's like, "Behold!"
Oh yeah, the
Furiosa.
Furiosa joke.
I did not expect him to say that.
That was. I think it was really funny because that movie came out like 2 weeks before Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
And they made a Mad Max joke like 2 minutes before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if it was just like that group of X-Men, like Fox era X-Men mutants as the quote unquote antagonists, I think the movie would have been just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, they should have got Peter Dinklage character from Days of Future Past.
Gosh.
I mean, could have.
What the fuck was his name? What the fuck is his
Trask.
name?
Trask.
Oh, Boulevard Trask.
Yep. But yeah, I like the addition of the TVA because it kind of like loops in with the main MCU.
Yeah.
But I think after the first act, it was completely unnecessary to have both Nova and Mr. Paradox in the movie at all. That really is like, from a character standpoint, that's really my only main gripe with the characters. Was just like the villain was kind of there.
Hey, Nate, I'm gonna completely go off topic for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, utterly. Like, this has nothing to do with even movies. Did you see Matt Milano tore his bicep?
Fuck off.
I'm dead serious right now.
Yes, I know. When we were playing fucking Fortnite earlier, I told you that he tore his bicep.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
Rubbing dirt in the wound.
Brooks, if you haven't guessed already, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah, I don't really have a team. I mean, I'm like I love the NFL. I just don't really have like a team. But I do
That's
lean for
valid.
the Bills. I think the Bills are super fun, and I'm actually kind of glad you guys got rid of Diggs.
W take.
You should sign up to be a Bills fan, Brooks. I heard it only takes 13 seconds.
Fuck off.
You know what, Mr. Yankees, Lakers, Chiefs fan. I think my great taste in teams will never change.
This is not a sports podcast, so we'll get off that tangent.
If you do want us to start a sports podcast, let us know.
I'm already doing one podcast. 2 podcasts is a little much.
I'm not getting paid for this.
You're not dedicated to the
I don't get paid enough for this.
All right, let's get back to Deadpool.
Yeah, that was really my only main complaint with the movie is that it was a very simple story, which again, it doesn't really need to be complex.
Yeah.
But again, it was also like it was super simple and straightforward. Like if you gave someone like the major plot point or like the minor plot points, they could probably piece together the major ones themselves.
Yeah.
And the villains were kind of mid, but again, there's like this was like a buddy cop movie. It wasn't really like there was an antagonist, but that wasn't really the point of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I got the vibe from this movie, and this might be a little bit of a hot take. I got the vibe from this movie that this movie was parading around like what Deadpool is in a sense. That's I feel like why the story was simple. I think Disney felt the role of like showing everybody like this is Deadpool because I mean people had gone to see it before, but I not at this scale, and I felt like they kept everything like a little numbed down story wise and just let like kind of the action and simple story pursue just to be like all right guys, here it is, like we've got it, and just kind of showing them like what this can be and get everyone excited. And they put in like good music and all this stuff to make it really fun, really enjoyable. It's not super long, it's just like it's sweet, it's quick. This is it. Like, you don't have to really overthink it much. There's lots of little like jokes, lots of little like Easter eggs, but it kind of felt like they were just parading around like what this is and then getting everyone excited, and then it'll, kind of go from there. But
kind of just like establishing that they're not gonna water down what Deadpool is.
Yeah.
Like I saw some people, maybe you guys felt this way, I'm not sure, but there were some people where it's like, oh, I felt kind of let down because Deadpool wasn't really introduced to the MCU in any major way in this movie. But I definitely, when I walked out of this movie for the first time, and the second and third and fourth, I thought, especially with the credit scene, not the end credit scene, but like where they're showing how they're making X-Men 1 and stuff. This really felt like instead of an introduction to the MCU, it was saying goodbye to the 20th Century Fox era of movies, and it felt like it was like kind of like their love letter to them more than anything.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's exactly what I said in my Letterboxd review. Was that it was the perfect send off to the Fox era movies. I'm actually gonna.
Don't worry, I didn't steal that from you. I don't read your Letterboxd reviews.
Felt like a perfect send off to all the Fox era superhero movies I grew up watching, literally word for word.
I mean, I agree. I think like that end credit scene of just showing them like having fun, like filming all those movies. Like to me, it showed that like I felt like there's a group of people that are like working on these projects, and this isn't like I got that vibe throughout the whole movie, and this probably isn't even true. Like they're probably doing just fine, but I get the vibe throughout watching the movie and all this stuff. And I think what people get excited for in business and anything is feeling like they're a part of something that isn't super mainstream, if that makes sense. And like anything from like thrifted clothes, from underground restaurants, from anything. And Deadpool felt like that project where even like their language they use when they talk about the Avengers being like this big like heroic thing, like it felt like it was like a smaller thing and it was like more niche, even though it wasn't. And I think that like it inspired that feeling in people of like, wow, this is like a project that people really do care about, and it's not as big as the like Avengers and stuff, but this is super cool. And I think people like have grown like that emotional attachment toward it as like their thing, like it's this feeling that you're kind of like a part of something. And that kind of goes back to like the engagement of people watching the movie, like breaking the fourth wall, talking about Disneyland, and like that it makes. And then like we talked about like the popcorn buckets, like everything is engaging for the people watching. And so having that engagement mixed perfectly with this feels like something special and something that's not as big as the other things. Like it makes you feel like you're a part of it, and then you kind of root for it, and you give it the benefit of the doubt, and then you get better reviews on, so I think it's just that's one thing that I got from Deadpool that was done like perfectly.
I agree, because like when you like, because we've all probably been watching movies we're all about 20 years old. We've probably been watching them consciously for like at least 12 years at this point. You can start to tell when a movie is so obviously made with love and care, and the people that make it care about these things, and it even extends to like the actors. Like you can tell when they want to be in something. And I hate to bring up the absolute pile of dog shit Borderlands again, but like just watching these two movies in the span of 2 weeks, it's so obvious to see a movie that was a blatant cash grab, and then a movie that was obviously made with care and love, and like this is somebody's like work of art. Like they didn't just make it for a paycheck. Sure, the money's nice, but they made it because they wanted to, not because they felt like they had to.
Yeah.
Whether that's even true or not, it felt like it. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of brings me back to like watching the old and like phase 1 of the MCU, phase 2 of the MCU, like the original Iron Man, the original Captain America. Like you could tell like those are movies that not only Feige was really and Favreau were really like passionate about, but you could just tell that like this kind of like brought me back, and like going back to that end credit scene, or that end the credits, like behind the scenes montage of all the old Fox movies. Like I've said this for years now. This is probably the first time either of you will ever hear me say it, but my favorite superhero movie of all time that isn't MCU is X-Men: Days of Future Past. Like
I've heard you say that before.
I love that movie. It was the very first movie that I ever saw in theaters that I can remember. I think it was one of the first movies that I can consciously remember seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
And I saw it with my stepdad, and I just loved that movie. I think that movie came out in 2014, so it makes sense for the time frame. Makes sense for the time frame. So I have a lot of nostalgia towards that movie. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is a great character. I absolutely loved James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
But like that's one of those movies that feels like Deadpool and Wolverine, where it was like they cared about making the movie. Like they were sending off the old, because other than that, the last movie that had like the old, like the Patrick Stewart, the Ian McKellen, that was X-Men: The Last Stand, which was terrible.
Not a good movie.
Yeah.
But you could tell that they did that. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and even Sean Levy, or Levy, I don't really know. Yeah, me mispronouncing names. What else is new? You could tell that they just cared about the product they were putting out with this movie, and it was just amazing, and I absolutely loved it. And despite the fact that we have, like, obviously we have critiques, we're criticizing, we're analyzing the movie as a whole. So yes, we're gonna have critiques. No movie I think is perfect. Despite the fact, like, I would still like, this is probably my movie of the year. Like, it depends, because I'm gonna see Alien Romulus next month, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you're gonna see Alien Romulus with me.
Yeah, it would be probably the only other movie I see in theaters this year, because I'm not really excited for anything else coming out this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I think that I'm sure Ryne and I will make a review about that as well. I think once that ends up coming out, I think we'll be able to compare. Like, Alien's been a franchise that's been around since the 70s. The first movie came out in 79, I believe.
Yeah, 78, 79, around there.
Yeah, yes. So it becomes a point where, like, I think it's very obvious that they're just doing these Alien movies because they know people will watch them. And I think once we actually do see that movie, like, we'll be able to tell in, like, the way the movie feels. Like, I think it'll be a good movie. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But, and this goes back to, like, the MCU movies that were coming out prior or post Endgame. Like, No Way Home was good because, oh God, what's the act? John Watts. That's the director's name. I feel like he really cares about Spider-Man as a character. And obviously Toby and Andrew, like, they pretty much, like, their Spider-Man movies pretty much started their careers.
Yeah.
Like, I know Tobey Maguire was probably in stuff before Spider-Man, but like, everyone knows him for Spider-Man. And everybody knows Andrew Garfield for Spider-Man. So you could just tell that the love they feel for those characters was there.
Yeah.
And even for Guardians too, like Guardians was a really big one because we could just tell like Chris Pratt kind of started his career with Guardians. Like, yeah, he was in Parks and Rec, but he didn't really start getting major. He didn't really start getting major movie deals until after Guardians.
Yeah, he didn't start getting movies like Garfield and Mario until after Guardians happened.
even like Jurassic World, like I don't think he would have gotten that if he wasn't in Guardians before. Like, granted, Jurassic World is not a great movie in my opinion.
I don't think you can make the case.
Paid.
Yeah, I don't think you can make the case he doesn't make that. Like, there's no way he gets that movie without Guardians, because that movie started filming right after Guardians wrapped.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, he pretty much went right from one to another.
I think, like, and you're absolutely right. You can absolutely tell when character, like, because even Thor: Love and Thunder, like Chris Hemsworth, like Thor made Chris Hemsworth huge.
Yeah,
like I get it that Thor: Love and Thunder isn't very well received, but I think you could really tell that Taika Waititi had a vision. So Chris Hemsworth cared. Like the vision was there. I just don't think the execution was done very well, which is it happens.
Yeah.
Black Panther's another example. Like, that was just like an absolute, like, everybody that was involved in that movie was probably deeply saddened by the passing of Chadwick Boseman. So like that's those films where it's like that you can absolutely tell that everyone involved with the project wants to ensure that his legacy is still there. And then you also have stuff like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, Paul Rudd was already big before that, so why does he care about Ant-Man and the Wasp? Like, say with every like, was it Uma Thurman or Michelle Pfeiffer that was in that movie? I can't remember.
I think it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, like she's huge. She doesn't need Ant-Man and the Wasp. Bill Murray, he doesn't need Ant-Man. Yeah, she is. Bill Murray doesn't need Ant-Man and the Wasp. The guy that fucking plays Hank Pym, I can't remember the actor's name.
Is it Michael Douglas?
Yes, Michael Douglas. He doesn't need Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, there's certain, like, Doctor Strange too. Like, Benedict Cumberbatch is fucking huge. Like, he was in shit way before Doctor Strange.
The only like slight exception I'd have to that is Chris Evans. I think Chris Evans like really did like actually cared about Captain America up until he stopped doing it. Obviously.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a bad Chris Evans Captain America movie.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
I would disagree with Benedict Cumberbatch. Not that he was huge, because he was absolutely huge. He played a fucking dragon in The Hobbit.
Yeah, he was fucking Sherlock Holmes. The dude played Sherlock Holmes.
But I think that Benedict Cumberbatch was the only person, except Sam Raimi. I think Sam Raimi gave a shit. I think it was only Sam Raimi and Benedict Cumberbatch who gave a shit about Multiverse of Madness.
I don't think I at least I didn't think so when I first watched it. Granted, I've only ever watched it once, and I don't plan on watching it again.
We'll drag you back into it for a bad movie.
Okay. Well, so it is kind of wrapping up this whole segment here. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine has got me re-interested in Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, right after I like the day after I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, my wife and I were sitting at home. It was a Saturday, and we're like, you know what? Let's watch something on TV. And we're going through like all the hundreds of streaming services, and you're like, I was sitting there like, I kind of got an itch to watch some Marvel. So and before the movie, like, we had watched the X-Men movies just so she knew about like all of that, so I didn't have to explain it all in the theater.
Yeah.
But like, not counting that, like, I'm interested in the MCU again. Like, I rewatched Loki season 2. We rewatched, we're currently rewatching Daredevil. I'm watching Secret Invasion, which isn't that great, but I'm watching it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Deadpool and Wolverine has successfully got me re-interested in the MCU, which no other film, like, I saw Guardians 3, not in theaters. I saw it when it came out just because I knew it would be the last one.
Mhm.
So I saw that, but like that didn't really like bring me back into Marvel. You know what I mean? It kind of just was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm glad they did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something I've been thinking about is I feel like everything has been a closing chapter recently, and it's
Mhm.
gotten me disinterested. Like Chris Evans, like Captain America's done. I know there's a new Captain America, but it's just like not the same. And so
Mhm.
it feels like everything is like the end, and like in everything, Fast and Furious, like any franchise, like everything feels like it's kind of getting in an end. Star Wars kind of feels like it's getting to the end. Like I know they're kind of they keep trying to go back, but like everyone's getting old, like everyone's dying off. So like everything I feel like that we've known for the longest time and grown up with is at an end. And
Yep.
so that's when like things like The Boys or like these new superhero stuff that's different and that is it's leveling our current maturity and it's not like the stuff that we grew up with. Now everyone's so interested in that. So people aren't as interested in Marvel and stuff like that because now it's just like I don't know. Frankly, it's like kind of been a clown show. Like I'll go watch
Mhm.
it and it's entertaining. We talked about the difference between like an entertaining movie and like a good movie, but none of them like
Right.
I really don't care. Like Guardians 3 came out. I knew it'd be good, but I don't know. I wasn't urgent to go to the theater to watch it. I just watched it when it was free.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
I agree. I agree.
yeah, and your point, like with like getting interested again, like I went back and watched some like old X-Men movies and like things like that because I'm like, dude, I forgot about dude, like watching the end credit scene, I was like, oh my gosh, like I forgot about the first Deadpool when he had no mouth and like the weird blades in his fist and all that stuff. So like I went back and watched
Yeah.
that and like actually kind of enjoyed it, and then I was like, okay, wait, hold on, and so like I feel like it did that perfectly of like it's bridged that gap of like all those kids that grew up with this stuff are now older now and so it's like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I just think it's done like such a perfect job of like meeting us where we're at and then like getting us interested in the old stuff again and all that stuff. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
I would agree.
it's successfully reinterested me, and like I'm excited for future projects now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I I don't know if I've gone all the way back to where I'm excited about new projects, but I would say I'm definitely cautiously optimistic.
Well,
Yeah. That's
I don't
fun.
think there's ever going to be a way where I'll be like fully like when I was in high school and I was like it was peak MCU like
Yeah.
I graduated in 2021. So I was in high school 2017 to 2021. And in that
Yeah.
time it was basically all of phase 3. It was Captain
Mhm.
America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, weakest of the Guardians trilogy, but still a good movie. Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War,
Oh,
Ant Man and the
Ragnarok
Wasp,
is so good. Yeah.
Ant Man and the
Dude,
Wasp, which is meh, Captain Marvel, which is I
yeah,
have seen once. But then you had Endgame, then you had Far From Home. Like
I
this, like
forgot how good Phase 3 was.
yes, like after I'll say like after because I know Ryan is very critical of Age of Ultron, but I like Age of Ultron. It's the weakest Avengers movie, but I still like it. Like,
Mhm.
Age of Ultron is incredible. I think it's super underrated.
thank you, Brooks. Thank you. Like the
Ultron's
absolute
It
one of the. I'm gonna go on
Ultron
like
was done
super
dirty.
slight sidetrack, but Ultron, dude, like we lack bad guys that have like motivation that's meticulous and actually makes sense. And when you get a
Yeah.
bad guy like that, everyone is interested. Like the one good
Yeah.
Joker we had, like things like that, where it's like when they have like a Darth Vader, like all these things that have like a story that makes freaking sense and you can almost relate to in a way, or
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
it processes in your brain. You're like, oh, I see why someone would be angry about that or whatever. Those bad guys
Mhm.
are so good,
Yeah.
dude. Even if this like
Or
script's bad or whatever.
Like Thanos too. Like Thanos is a huge
Yeah,
example of that. But the
Mhm.
yeah,
absolute insane run that the MCU had from 2014 to 2019 is like I'm looking at this lineup. There's one miss and a mid movie, and the rest is all great.
yeah.
Well, there's two mid movies because Age of Ultron's in there, but
All right, Ryan.
Shut up.
I'm kidding.
But no,
I will say, I love Ultron as a villain.
No, Ultron was done dirty. Ultron was done dirty.
No, I think he was a great villain. The only thing about that movie is the fact that the third act is like an hour long, and the movie feels like it's like 36 hours, even though it's like a 2.5 hour movie.
Who they did dirty was
Quicksilver.
what's his name?
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
That
done
was
dirty,
bro. That was bad.
Well, the thing that annoys me about Ultron, and I get he's supposed to be super fucking powerful in the comics, and he is. He literally dies and comes back like 8 times in the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm just like, can this movie end?
Yeah.
Other than that, it's good.
Yeah, so this run, like, it started with The Winter Soldier, which is the best Captain America movie and probably a top 5 MCU movie.
Yeah, I do really like that movie. I don't think it's really like a superhero movie. I see it more of like a spy thriller.
Yeah, it's a political thriller with Captain America in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you had Guardians, the first Guardian. Like, like we've all sung our praises. Guardians is probably my favorite like trilogy out of the MCU. Then you had Age of Ultron, which is, I know you're critical of it, but I'm, again, the weakest Avengers movie, but I still think it's very underrated. Then Ant-Man, which was great. I love Ant-Man.
The first one, yeah, I do really like.
Yeah, then Civil War, which is, again, a really good movie. Introduction to Spider-Man. Introduction to Black Panther. Then you had Doctor Strange, which is another good introduction to the character. Guardians 2, which, again, like, weakest of the trilogy, but still a very solid movie. Oh, excuse me. Then you had Homecoming, which, again, I love Spider-Man. Like, I literally have Spider-Man shit hanging up on my walls as we're recording this, like, next to me. I love Spider-Man. Thor Ragnarok, which is easily the best Thor movie. It's probably another...
It's not even close. It's a top 5 MCU movie for me.
I don't know if I put it in my top 5. It's definitely in my top 10. Probably top 8.
Which one, Ragnarok?
Yeah. It's very good. It is definitely in my top 10.
I don't think it's top 5 like objectively best, but it's definitely in like my favorites. I like in terms of like enjoying, because it's very
rewatchable too. It is very rewatchable.
It's one that lasts a smaller superhero movie before shit hits the fan with the Infinity War saga.
Yes, I agree. Then you have Black Panther, which I think is overrated, but still very good. Infinity War, literally the best movie in the saga.
Literally, probably one of the better movies of all time. Like,
Infinity War, like, I think it's very hard. It's going to be probably impossible for them to top how good Infinity War was. Like, that's an event. Like, I know we said Endgame was an event. Infinity War was an event. Endgame was just like the after party, in my opinion.
Dude, like, after watching Infinity War in theaters, like, I felt defeated, like, walking out of that movie.
Dude, that was the only theater experience I had where everybody was silent walking out of the theater.
Yeah. Like, speaking on Infinity War and Endgame, like, I very vividly remember this. Brooks probably won't remember this, but it's when we were both freshmen in high school. I remember Endgame coming out, and we were sitting in Bible class, just sitting outside talking about how crazy the ending of Endgame was. And I just remember talking about that for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I actually do kind of remember that.
I completely forgot what started this part of the conversation, but I think it just goes to show. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So, leading up to Infinity War, like, the excitement and the hype was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine, it's not quite as high, but it is the highest it has been since that moment, for me at least.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Yeah, and I think they just wrapped it up, put a bow on it as movie's done. The hero gets the girl, like, it's whatever. Now you're excited for the next movie. Like, it was just like a super simple formula that just leads to success and needs to get done more. Because like everybody left that movie with a smile on their face. I got in my car and enjoyed the rest of my day and thought about it a lot. Like, It was like I'll probably rewatch it as soon as it comes out on a streaming service. Like that movie was like, and then too, like, dude, bringing up this, dude, the car scene when Wolverine is yelling at dude.
A good scene.
Oh my gosh, the acting is so good. The movie theater was dead silent because he like, oh my gosh, like dude, the acting in that scene was like so incredible. And
I love how we've been going at this for an hour and we've barely talked about the plot.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like,
dude, it was like that. It was like that brief like slap of intensity, you know, and it kind of brings you back to the movie.
Are you talking about like right before they do the car fight?
Yeah. But even the car fight, like the car fight was like nuts too. Like, dude, it was like all that was done in a Honda Odyssey. Like that whole scene, the intensity and the fight scene, like everything was done in a van, and it was like perfect.
Yeah, except for the Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare that we got.
When he jumps through the screen with his fucking claws out.
Yeah, we had the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Foxy jump scare.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the only use of. So we've shit on Marvel a lot for this for the last 2-3 years. Love and Thunder's a huge fucking example of it. Marvel having shitty CGI. I think that's the only example of not great CGI in this movie. The rest of it looks great.
When they jump out of the bus at the end, it was kind of bad CGI.
Yeah. That's like the most notorious part.
I don't think the CGI for that looks great, but I think it's not so jarringly bad that it takes away from the moment, because seeing Wolverine leap in that pose is such a cool fucking moment that I was able to
with the mask on too.
Yeah, I like that. Was
when they walk out and he grabs it and pulls it over his hood, and then the music that like, bro, that was so hype. That was so sick.
The old school like Fox X-Men theme. Oh my!
And then, dude, they did a perfect job. Deadpool makes like the blowjob handle joke, but it's like super quick, and it didn't. It was like quick enough where it didn't ruin like the coolness of the moment. But then they went straight to
that's just Deadpool's character. Like it fits for the like. That's absolutely something I could see Deadpool saying in the comics. 100%.
Yeah.
Like if they had some character like Captain Marvel make a fucking like snide remark or something, I'd probably kill myself.
Yeah, like there's very few, like Spider-Man I think could get away with that just because it's Spider-Man and he's a very quippy character.
Yeah, he wouldn't say something that like outrageous. But
yeah, it wouldn't be that pristine, like that. What's the word I'm looking for here? That obscene, like that dirty. But he would definitely make a joke about it. But yeah, do you guys want to talk about the cameos? Because I know we haven't talked about that yet.
I am Robbie Lebo.
Oh, I'm gonna make a name for myself over here.
Just remember.
Right. We'll talk about Gambit last because I have a lot to say about Gambit.
I also do. I think
so.
All right.
Hold on. No, let's start with Johnny Blaze because he was the first one.
Okay. I don't like the Fantastic Four movies, so that was the one I cared the least about. It was fucking awesome to see Chris Evans again.
Yeah, it's a fair take. They're not great movies.
One, they dog walked his character. He was a bitch. I don't know why.
It was funny though.
It was hilarious. It was like probably one of the funniest parts of the movie. But they dog walked his character. But it was still an awesome moment because I was shocked the first time it happened because I thought he was going to be a Captain America variant, and then he said "Flame on." And
I like how they did that because now, like, and it was perfect too because, like, obviously, like, they're in the MCU now, so like that's actually something it could be, and like, I don't know, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Human Torch cameo just because. So I know I can understand that they're not good movies, but I really do like the original set of 2 Fantastic Four movies. I know they're not good. Yeah. But I think I just like them. They're fun.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Evans as the Human Torch was great. and to see him back, especially in like kind of like a cop out way where like we didn't really know it was him. Like I had a feeling because I didn't think they would bring Captain America back that quick. So I saw Chris Evans, and I was like, that's probably going to end up being Human Torch. But it's still like it was very hype when I saw it, and like when Pyra like sucked the fire out of him. Pause.
Yeah.
But like it was such a cool scene. Like I know like we could talk about the Fox X-Men characters, I guess, but they were in the trailer, so they weren't really a surprise. But yeah, so that was Human Torch. Then there was Elektra, who I didn't really give a fuck about, to be completely honest.
I don't think anybody cared about Elektra. I honestly think the only reason Elektra was in this movie is because I haven't seen Jennifer Gardner in a movie in like 20 years. And I think Ben Affleck might have been busy.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see her. Yeah. Like, it was definitely cool to see her. Like, I'm not upset that she was there.
Yeah,
but they kind of like it was whatever.
Yeah.
Then we got my guy Blade. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I think Blade has the best introduction of fucking
any
character.
I love the first two Blade movies. The third one's all right.
I even like the third one. I don't think it's a great movie, but I enjoy it.
No, it's fun. It's another one of those fun movies. Like, it's not good, but I like it. But the first two, great. And then fucking bringing, like, Wesley Snipes was retired from acting. Like, he was done.
He was retarded. He wasn't retired. He was retarded.
His first words in the dude.
I think we might have to cut that part out.
No, it's okay. I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah, if you are, you actually are allowed to.
But no, he was like Wesley Snipes was retired. I don't want to twist my words here. He was done acting. Like he hung it up. Like he was done. And then Ryan Reynolds convinced us to come back for this one role that he had fucking 25 years ago. And as someone like I love the Blade movies, that was just such a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blade, I just looked this up. Have you seen the cast for Blade?
The MCU one or the old one?
Yeah. The MCU one, like the new one. The three people they've announced for the cast.
I know Mahershala Ali is playing Blade.
Jared Leto's going to be in it.
Oh, fucking hell.
The most underrated human being in the history of human beings.
The GOAT. No, but I think he'll be fine as like a villain. He should be fine. And then Mia Goth is in it, and I fucking adore Mia Goth.
Mia Goth. What is she in that?
She has Goth in her name.
Goth. She's been in a bunch of horror movies recently. I know you don't watch a lot of horror, but she was in X. She was in Pearl.
I know who this is. Yes, I know who this is. I've seen X. That was the one that was done by, was it A24?
Yeah, both X and Pearl were, because they both take place in the same world.
So does Maxine, which just came out this year, which I haven't seen yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. But Mia Goth, that is probably one of the best castings I could think of to play like some like evil vampire chick in a Blade movie. That's phenomenal.
You know she's married to Shia LaBeouf?
I did know that. I looked it up when we were doing our Fury review.
I love Shia, bro. Bring him back.
Let's go.
All right, but yeah, I was in the theater when Blade, like I literally jumped out of my seat and like pumped my fist in the air because I was so excited to see Blade.
The music was perfect for that scene.
His entrance. Well, I don't know if this is true, but I'm almost certain that it was like old school like Blade soundtrack music.
It was.
Which was great. And then, oh my lord, after Blade, Ryne, you go ahead.
All right. So this is my... Nate already knows, so this is why he said it. This is either my second or my third favorite superhero of all time. Because I don't know who I like more, Deadpool or Gambit. But the fact that Gambit was in this movie is mind-boggling to me. I did the exact same thing that Nate did when he saw Blade. I stood up in the movie theater and fucking pumped my fist that I saw Gambit. And not even that it was just Gambit. It was Gambit played by the guy who's wanted to play Gambit for the last 15 years, Channing
Oh my
Tatum.
lord.
And
Dude.
we were talking about it earlier. The reason Channing Tatum couldn't play Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine is because of that G.I. Joe movie that Brooks was talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
I absolutely love this. I'm not a huge fan of Channing Tatum as an actor. I think he's a very one-dimensional actor in the roles he's played.
Mm-hmm.
That I've seen.
Yeah.
But like seeing him in comic accurate Gambit costume with the Cajun accent, couldn't understand a word the motherfucker was saying.
That's part of the charm, though.
It was. Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself up in here.
Oh, up in here.
I
heard what happened here today.
I knew about the Gambit movie that was supposed to come out. I know Channing Tatum was like super excited about it. It's supposed to come out, or it was officially canceled in 2019. Like he was doing press tours for it and everything. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, just to see him like play that character that he's wanted to play for so. It just it. I will say it was spoiled for me, like as I was going to the movie theater. So I wasn't as like hyped as I would have been if I saw it for the first time.
That sucks.
It does, but it's still like it was such a heartwarming thing to see, just to see Channing Tatum play this character that he's been basically begging to play since 2009.
Since we were little kids.
Yeah, since we were kids, since like X-Men Origins Wolverine came out like 2008, 2009. So like since that time frame, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
It was just I loved it.
It's an underrated thing to get actors that like their roles, like love them, you know.
Yes, like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool.
And I think that's that is. Sorry, Brooks, you go.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think that's something that's so unique to the world of not just comic book movies, but adapted property movies, is you can sometimes land in this scenario where the actors are a fan of the role they're portraying, like previously. Like you get huge fanboys of like these projects like Channing Tatum playing Gambit, or like I think Tom Holland was a huge Spider-Man fan, or Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool.
Andrew Garfield was a huge Spider-Man fan. A little off topic there, but
yeah. So you know how these characters adapted.
Sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt here for just a second. Another one, Timothy Chalamet in Dune. Like he's a huge fan of his character. I know I'm very critical of Timothy Chalamet, but I do respect that he is actually passionate about his character.
Dune.
Ryan, you have anything else to add?
Ryan's dead.
Ryan, you there, buddy?
Poor guy.
He says computer.
We all knew it was coming, but
messed
we
up
didn't
for a
know it was
second.
today.
He says computer messed up, so he'll be back in a second.
Yeah. All right, cool.
But yeah, I guess we'll continue to talk about Gambit for a bit, or if you want to talk about. Daphne
King. I think too. Like, he made Gambit look like the dude fights with playing cards and a staff.
Dude,
not that that's like dumb or anything, but he made it. But he made it look so clean, bro. The scene when he like turns away,
badass,
and everyone's heads blow up with all the playing cards, and then like he whips out the bow staff and just starts going to work. Like that was clean, dude. With the jacket, like he was like spinning it around while he's throwing. Like he did so well, bro.
I'm back, by the way, guys. Sorry,
he is back.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean the only things that I can remember Channing Tatum being in vividly is the Magic Mike series, which I've never seen.
Cap.
The G.I. Joe movies, which I've only seen the first one.
Yep.
We're watching Magic Mike when you come over, Nate.
No, we're not. And then the 21 Jump Street movies, which are fun. They're nice comedies.
Yeah, those are good.
This is the end as the fucking BDSM doll.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Jeez,
that was the worst movie.
That is the thing I love about Channing Tatum. He will do anything.
Yes, he will. I'm going to look up his filmography real quick, just because there's got to be something else he's been in.
He's in the Lego Batman. He's been in so many things, dude. He's basically made his career off of features and movies. Like I was watching he was
in White House Down. White House Down in the Kingsman.
Oh yeah,
he was the cowboy in Kingsman.
And he was in Coach Carter, which I completely forgot about. So he's done some good movies.
Well, I was watching.
He was Agent Tequila. My bad.
Yeah, Whiskey was Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I always mix them up.
What's the movie with Ryan Reynolds where he's like a video game? He's like an NPC in a video game. Free Guy. Dude, I was watching the opening scene of Free Guy, and Channing Tatum's like driving a Bentley around, like spins around, starts shooting like grenades.
That's right.
I was like, oh shoot, that's Channing Tatum. It's just like in the opening scene.
He's in Bullet Train for like 3 minutes too.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, Channing Tatum, like he's done some good movies. I apologize to Channing Tatum. I was disingenuous of me to say that you haven't been in anything.
Yeah,
Channing Tatum.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that apology.
Every episode of our podcast.
Channing Tatum is at my door right now, waiting to beat me up for saying he hasn't done good movies.
No, he's just gonna give you a lap dance.
All right. And then, so we talked about Gambit, and then there was X-23, which I didn't really give a shit about because Logan came out 6 years ago, something like that.
I have to. 1 second before we move on from that. I have to make a Google search before I say the next thing I want to say.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. She's 19. She is so bad.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Oh my lord. How did I know you were going that way?
That's crazy.
That is insane work.
I had to do the Google search to confirm.
The fact that you were thinking that, bro, and you didn't even know until just now is nuts. Oh my god.
The feds are on their way, big guy.
No, the feds were on their way, but we're good now. We got it cleared up.
Yeah, sure, bro. If I'm the Fed, I'm still coming, dog. I don't trust you for.
Yeah, I mean,
for anything.
It was cool that she was there, I guess. I didn't really give a fuck too much, to be completely honest. Logan came out
within the story.
Yeah, it made sense, but Logan just came out way too recently for me to really care about that character specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Logan, good movie though.
Yeah, good movie. I love Logan.
All right, so
we've talked about. You've only seen Logan once. You should rewatch Logan.
I should. Let's do an episode about
it. Perchance. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about cameos. I mean, overall, like, there's not really much to talk about for the plot, in my opinion, just because it's a very cookie cutter plot.
Yeah, not like that's an awful thing, but it's definitely
it fits for the movie.
Yeah.
I thought too. People were kind of hating on it, dude. But I thought Wolverine's outfit was like super sick too.
Oh, I loved it.
So one detail about his costume that I really love. So when we first see him, he's got the sleeves, right?
Yeah.
And then as the movie progresses, like his sleeves get like ripped off.
Yeah.
To make it like that more comic accurate. And then he gets the cowl on, like he literally looks like Wolverine. Like from the comics, like his arms are hairy as fuck. He's got like he uses that the Wolverine mannerism, like easy there, bub.
Yeah.
You could really tell that Hugh Jackman loves, because this literally, like, Wolverine, like, I know we talked about like Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth and all them, like how the MCU kind of helped with their careers. Like Wolverine started Hugh Jackman's career, like actually started his career. It was his first role in a movie.
Not even that. No disrespect to Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman. I think he's an awesome actor. Wolverine is his career.
Yeah, that is fair.
No, because he does like a lot of like live plays and stuff like
Okay,
like
yeah, that's true.
and he's like apparently he's like notorious in that field for like being
I mean more so his film career. Like other than Wolverine and like the X-Men, he did Les Mis, which is just a Broadway adaptation of a movie.
What was that robot fighting movie?
Was he in Real Steel? Oh, he
was. He was the main character in Real Steel.
Yeah, that movie was, dude, that's an underrated movie. I love Real Steel.
He's in Prisoners, which is a fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah, he was in Van Helsing, which was all right. He was the voice of the rat in Flushed Away, by the way.
Oh fuck, dude!
Was he really? I had no idea.
Hollywood A-lister. I'm putting my foot in my mouth right now.
He was in The Greatest Showman, which I really like.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Night at the Museum. I forgot he was in that, playing himself.
He's also in Free Guy.
Yeah, I don't remember him being in Free Guy, but I'll take your word for it.
Was he really? I just watched Free Guy and I didn't.
I don't remember him being in it.
Apparently he's a cameo.
He was in Chappie, which I think is a really good movie.
He was this guy, Brooks. I'll send you a picture of him. I have a picture of him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wolverine quite literally was his career.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know he's done other stuff.
Oh. Huh.
But like
he was the Intel dealer. Interesting.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, the dude that like gives the chick the like information at the beginning in the alleyway.
Yeah. All right, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure Ryne just looked it up, so I'm sure his information's accurate.
Yeah, Ryne's always right.
I'll believe you this time.
Yeah,
as long as Google is right, Ryne is right.
But yeah, it's like Wolverine. What was his career for a long time? Because he did X-Men 1 in 2000, then he did X2 in 2003. Then he did some like voice work and some stuff like that. Then he did Last Stand in 06, and X-Men Wolverine in 09. And then like 50% of his filmography is Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While we're talking about, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I didn't really have anything else to say.
While we're talking about Hugh Jackman, I think it's a really good point to make that he could continue on in the MCU, but also if he doesn't, this movie's a really good stopping point.
Yes. I think Logan was a better stopping point.
Oh, 100%. Because I mean, he fucking.
But died. also, we also have to like recognize that this isn't that Wolverine. Like this is a different Wolverine. It just happens to be Hugh Jackman again.
Yeah.
Which is that's fine. This is one of those instances of like the multiverse bringing back characters that I actually enjoy, just because it's very hard for me to picture anybody else's Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh, Calverine, bro.
Oh, the Calverine. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a feature I totally forgot about.
I think other than Henry Cavill, there is only one other actor that isn't Hugh Jackman that I'd be okay with playing Wolverine.
Who's that?
Taron Egerton.
Vin Diesel.
Oh, Egerton, yeah. Well, he's already Groot, so.
What?
Also,
Vin Diesel.
also, I found out the other day. I know we're talking about Guardians 3, so I rewatched Guardians 3 about a week and a half ago, and I found out that Hawkeye's wife, who's played by Linda Cardellini, is also like Linda Cardellini is also in Guardians 3, which I thought was insane.
Is she?
She plays the otter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's not just like some like one-off. Like that's a very central role in the movie.
Yeah. What?
So it's
Weird.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was a nice little piece of trivia for y'all there. But yeah, so the Cavalry, I will say, I know we didn't talk about that, so we'll talk about that for the last cameo. I will say, I like how he did so Wolverine's like signature thing where like he shoots both his arms out and the claws come out.
Oh yeah, that was sick.
So, well, no, so Henry Cavill in all of his movies, they call it like his arm reload. He like pumps one arm out and he pumps the other out.
Yeah.
I like how they did that with the claws instead.
Oh yeah.
Where he did one arm and then the
well
other.
Thought out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like a little like fangirl, bro.
Yeah, other than that, like he wasn't really in it for very long, so not much else I can say.
Yeah. But overall, dude, the movie was fantastic. I enjoyed the hell of it. I think if I were to give my score now out of 10, I think I would give it.
We're giving scores.
I'm giving my score. I'm giving my score. Yeah. This is like a dude because I think no movie is a 10. I would like that to be clear about like my 1 to 10. There's no movie that's a 10 to me. I would give it a 9.1, and I would say it has the potential. Future movies have the potential to be like a 9.5, 9.6. It's just that this one was like clearly it felt like a reintroductory, even though it's the third movie. It felt like it was like the first. That's my only.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll give it a 9.1.
I'll give it a 9.2 just to fuck with you.
I think on a scale of this is very hard. So are we grading this on a scale of movies overall or just MCU movies?
I was just giving it like 1 to 10 on personal enjoyment is really what I give it.
I have a different a movie overall. I'd say it's probably like an 8.4.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
It's very good. It's very enjoyable, very fun. Soundtrack's great. But as an MCU movie, I think it's a 9.5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I think it is reestablished that Disney can do those like lower stakes movies. Which is like that's what they should be doing. Like it's giving me faith that hopefully Spider-Man will be a lower stakes movie like it should be. I will say I love Far From Home, I love No Way Home, and I love Homecoming. But I do want to see a more grounded Spider-Man story.
Yeah, we don't need to see the entire world get saved all the time,
Yeah. And I understand that it's in the context of the MCU where they have these bigger threats.
Yeah.
I just want to see Spider-Man take on the mob. That's all I want to see. I just want to see him take on the Kingpin.
Yeah. Well,
also, I will say Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is still my favorite casting of all time.
I was just gonna say that's legit.
Are we just about wrapping up here?
I think we're wrapping up. So thank you guys. This had to have been over 2 hours that we did. At least hour.
Just about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we had to restart. That makes sense. But yeah, thank you for coming out, guys. Thank you, Brooks, for joining us today. Had a great time. Of course. Feel free to come back anytime. I'm sure Nate shares that sentiment. We had a great conversation.
If we ever do any Star Wars, you'll be my first call.
Bro, I'll be your guys' encyclopedia. That's super fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, folks.
Yeah, we appreciate you helping us out here. We wanted to get a third just so it wasn't a super short episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate all you guys listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Uncut Version Pod. And Brooks, you can go ahead and do that too if you haven't already.
Don't worry, I already am. Best podcast there is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys listening. Next week, Noah will be back. We'll be going over Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
The chuckle says it all.
Our bad movie of the month.
Yes. So if you're not already aware, each one of us, myself, Ryne, and Noah, we each pick a movie, and then we run it down. Then we'll do a bad movie of the month. And then also this month, we are going to. Are we doing that this month? We're doing Twisters.
Yeah, I think we're doing
All right,
Twister, and we're also doing an August roundup on that podcast because we have a 5th Thursday of the month.
Yeah. So, final episode recorded for August at least. We'll be joined by our good friend Kadrick. He is going to be doing Twisters with us. Also, during that, we're going to do our August roundup where we'll hear Ryne shit on Borderlands for another 20 minutes.
I'll actually just play
and then,
my YouTube video over the.
Yeah, he's just going to play the YouTube review. And then we're also going to be looking into possibly starting off with some news in the movie industry for the week. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah.
Follow myself and Noah on Letterboxd. Ryne will have it linked in the YouTube description for this video. And of course,
I have not put it. You've said that the last 2 weeks, and I haven't put the links in
all right, well,
the video description.
Make sure you do it this week then.
Okay.
Please.
I will.
Please.
I know that people are dying to hear your opinions.
I mean, yeah, that's why they're listening to us.
But yes, I will.
Yeah, I think that's just about everything. Actually, one more thing. Some looking forward. Going into September. Just so you guys are aware what we're doing. We're gonna start off with Goodfellas. We'll do Shawshank, and then we'll do The Nice Guys, followed by our second bad movie, which is still to be decided. And then, of course, Halloween month, we'll do our month of horror, starting off with The Thing, the good one, not the shitty one. Then we'll do Nightmare on Elm Street, and then either Scream or Hereditary, as we're still trying to decide on that. And then we're going to find a bad horror movie to watch, as well as another Halloween special to be released on Halloween, where we review Halloween 1 and 2. And then November, we're going to do The Truman Show. We'll do Whiplash. We'll do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then we'll take 1 week off for Thanksgiving, just so everybody can spend some time with their families, so you guys don't feel like you have to watch or listen.
We won't require you to listen that week.
Yeah, you guys can have a week off too. And then we'll end the year out with our Christmas month. We'll do A Year Without Santa Claus, Polar Express, The Grinch featuring Jim Carrey, and we'll do A Christmas Story, which will be recorded on the 23rd and going to be released on the 25th, so Christmas. So stay tuned for that. And then the final week of the year, we'll do our bad movie of December, and then an overall yearly roundup, end of year awards for everything that we watched this year. So stay tuned for all that. We're not gonna spoil our awards quite yet.
I think you know what will be winning worst movie of the year.
I don't know. Alien Romulus might be really bad.
I don't think it can be that bad.
But yeah, as always, we really appreciate you guys listening. Means a lot to us. Ryne, any closing thoughts here?
Not really. Just join us next week, guys, for we're definitely doing Ant-Man. We promise we're doing Ant-Man.
God, I'm not excited at all to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Maybe we'll change it because we shouldn't do 2 MCU movies in a row, but we're probably not going to change it, are we?
Yeah, we're definitely not going to change it.
Also looking forward, this is going to be discussed with the group, obviously, but we've considered doing as like our kind of call it season 1 finale, maybe doing a MCU recap. So if there's any interest there, just let us know, and we'll get that going. But yeah, that's all I got, Ryne. If you don't have anything else, I think we're good to call it quits here.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a great rest of your week. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Make sure to like it. Give us some ratings on Spotify so we can keep our 5-star rank. And yeah, have a great rest of your week, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. See you later.